Greetings. My name is Kevin Smith. I am the Technology Board Chairman of Bryn Mawr Community Church. And this is something that is truly a little different. I mean, for about the last month, I've been doing a closer look where we sit down with some of the guest ministers we've had, but we actually have something completely different today. I want this gentleman to introduce himself, and then we're going to go into why this is a little bit different.
Hey, thank you for having me here, my brother. My name is Lonnie Norwood. Those of y'all who are not familiar with me in the capacity of Bryn Mawr, I serve as lead musician. But I'm very happy to be here speaking in sort of the context of a Africana studies musician. That's how I kind of label myself in this particular capacity.
But how do you go from being, a beloved head musician at Bryn Mawr to kind of releasing your own project? Let's talk a little bit about this project and how you decided you wanted to do it and how it actually came about.
Definitely, man. It took some time. Uh, you know, Nothing really comes without trial and error. You know what I'm saying? And in this particular endeavor, there were many errors before I
Hmm.
actually before I actually arrived at this final project, which I think showcases my true voice, my true allegiance to my African heritage. That I put first before anything else that I consider in music. Of course, that is, without saying, everything I do is God breathed, it's inspired, through my Heavenly Father. But definitely, when it comes to sort of a governance in what I do, I, because for so long I was deprived of understanding, just the African influence in music, period, worldwide. There's no one in the American education, there was hardly anyone in American education system who would take the stance and say we must learn music from Senegal, from Ghana, West Africa, and understand how those influences
Hmm.
came into being, because that would cause you to have to enter the criminal enterprise of slavery, bring that into the
Hmm.
conversation. So a lot of that is
Which is
avoided.
now considered critical race theory now,
Yeah, right,
which
all
I
these
don't
little
understand.
boogeyman buzzwords.
Right.
Exactly. Basically, harnessing my sound and finding it was a process. At one point, I mean, this was always something I knew that I would do. I just didn't know in what capacity. I mean, the music
Hmm.
business has changed so much, even in the last 10 years, right? Everywhere it's to the point now, it got to the point at a certain time where people didn't have to go into the music studios to make an
Right.
album. They
That's
didn't have
right.
to get
Absolutely right.
the big contracts, right? So now it's
Right.
like, wow, we can wield these particular projects, on our own with our own skill and our own equipment, So
Right.
it took a time for me to, between, well, I don't know, when I finally sat down and disciplined myself and stopped chasing everyone else to help me with things, I started just doing it on my own. You know what I'm saying? I
I
studied and
I've
I
been there
studied.
before too. Not with music, but I've definitely been there before.
Eggs, right? Same frame, same context, right? So, I
Hmm.
mean, but we studied. I studied. I put in the work, and like I said, I was singing things, kind of typical gospel things that might probably be on par with what's trending right, on the radio or something. But I was
Right.
like, I just whatever, I'm writing these songs, I'm singing them, recording them, but I wouldn't release them because something was not. I
Hmm.
said, this is not the first impression I really want on myself. I don't know what exactly it is that I want to sound like, but I don't want to sound like everybody else.
Mm.
I want to get deeper, and really show what, again, that fullness of my particular sound and my studies and all of those things. But this is not it. Some of the things that I was recording. So I was just really patient, and kept studying, kept traveling the world and trying to learn from elders and stuff and their experiences. That it wasn't any longer where I felt like I could get what I needed to become the artist I am through college education and that kind of formalized,
Right.
the things that the avenues that America tells us that we need, and we do to some degree, but what they don't tell you is that you only get what they want you to have. You know what I'm saying? No professor ever encouraged me, like I said, to tap into any sort of Africana studies or to
Hmm.
do a gospel, even this gospel music. It was never qualified, you know what I'm saying, as a real means of study. It's
Right.
not real music. And if you wanted to put yourself on par with said musicians of the world. You know what I'm saying? And you had to commit yourself solely to classical music. That wasn't enough for me. Also felt like if you wanted to commit yourself on the flip side to being a real artist amongst the religious black community, you had to commit yourself to this really hard gospel style.
Right.
That wasn't me either. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't enough. And it, like I said, I think it got to the point where I started traveling to South Africa and doing a lot more, yeah, Africana studies, those particular measures and stuff that really gave me a huge eye-opening experience, and even going to the deep South, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And South, and looking at how people are still retaining a lot of the sort of old languages, listening to like the Gullah Geechee
Right.
communities specifically, how these really small pockets, but uh, uh, how they still perform their music, how they
There are
kept,
so many distinct,
yeah,
African subcultures, but then there's
absolutely,
even distinct black Southern cultures.
yeah,
Like my entire family is from Mississippi. That is a
that part,
distinct culture
yeah,
than the Gullah or the Geechee or
definitely,
or all these
definitely,
different sub pockets, but it's all black and it's
yeah.
all Southern music.
But I was enamored by it all, and I'm like, why do we not know more about this and stuff? And I
Mm,
started really getting a deeper look at examining even the churches that are in the Midwest and in the North. And I said, okay, so all of this can really be drawn back to trying to assimilate white culture, white identity, while still retaining, of course, black ideals in the church, but a lot of these things that reminded them of African Americans, that reminded them of, slavery. They
mm,
abandoned a lot of those kinds of songs, and on this particular project that I did, it's called Rooted. For a reason, you know what I'm saying? I found my ground, I found my footing, because I'm like, this
mm.
is the music that speaks to me. It's the music that really makes me feel like I have a connection to the ancestors. I
Wow.
get to have a glimpse into what they were, what they gave us in America, not just stopping at spirituals and in these ring shouts and spirituals and field hollers, but I get to see directly all the little nuances in these particular styles of music that fed into popular music, the
Wow.
jazz, the gospel, the blues, the country, the rock and roll, all and so forth, hip hop, you know what I'm saying? I see all
Hmm.
of, yeah, I see this very clear canon, you know what I'm saying? And those are things, again, like I said, it's really unfortunate, but we rob just American students of this kind of education. We're
Wow.
totally, yeah, divorced from anything Africa related except for what is depicted in, media, and often, very ugly, derogatory, stereotypical things
Hmm.
about their way of life, their customs and stuff. And because but what was the reason? We were never meant to be appreciated as a people, because we weren't people. We were property. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to be property in perpetuity. That was the purpose.
Right.
So yeah, I found my sound by talking to the elders, man, and that started to inform how I do music. I stopped looking at everything through the sort of expectations of the systemic expectations of American education, and I
Hmm.
started saying, okay, this is what about my particular music, what white supremacists, their
Right.
influences have said that I need to
Right.
know. Now
Right.
I'm going to look at an Africana governance structure, and I'm going to say,
Mm,
who are black people to black people? Who
right.
are Africans to Africans, and what do we know? What do we say about this? You know what I'm saying? What are the
Mm.
facts to us? And that has informed this album very much so. So all that you're gonna hear are traditional and original songs, just of my heritage, of our heritage, man. So it really does get to it's rooted in the struggles and sentiments of disenfranchised people, African people. That's what you're
Well,
gonna
I tell you what, man, I'm sold, and I don't want to hear some of it.
hear.
And I hate to put you on the spot, my brother, but I'm gonna put you on the spot, my brother.
Okay,
We
okay.
would love to hear a selection from Rooted if you could provide it to us. Is that cool? Do you mind doing
Yeah, I'm,
that?
I'm very happy to do this. All right. Well, I'm very proud to share my first, the lead track on this particular EP project, Rooted. This is the song called, it's based on the spiritual Lord, How Come You Here? You will see that it is written in African American vernacular English, our particular dialect. And you will hear a mixture of Dr. Watts. You'll hear some reminiscence of Dr. Watts hymns. You'll hear a journey. I'll put it like that, and then I'll talk about it on the back end. Don't want to give it all away, but hope you enjoy it. All right.
I heard the preacher cry, but does he really love me? Give your dark child a sign. Chains, chains in perpetuity. It's a high price for the oppressor's iniquity. No, this ain't what I ought to be. Tell me why. Tell me why, oh Lord, how come? Why do I suffer so? Why? Tell me why. I wish I never was born. I wish I never was born. Yeah, I got something to say. I can't even sing it. I am not your slave, I am not your Negro, I am not your token. I'm 100 paternally Igbo, maternally Mendike, with only star to unlock the powers within me. I sit among the stars trying to count the constellations to relate to my tribe how to vacate this plantation. And I sing in a song in a lingo we know. No justice we take it, freedom, mind, body, and soul. Keep your philosophies and pseudo ideologies. I'm gonna be the African that was stolen from me. This world is not my home. This old world is not my home. No. I feel like going. I decided that I'm ready to go home. No. This world is not. This world is not my home. I feel like going back to me. I'm ready.
And that's that piece, man.
Brother, my man. It's getting to the point where you would think I would stop being surprised. and what Lonnie puts together, dude, that was incredible.
Wow,
that was incredible.
Love, man, all love. I appreciate that.
Now let me ask. That's not just gospel music. I mean, there's some hip hop in there now. I'm definitely more of a hip hop aficionado than anything.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had bars, man. You got bars. Where did that come from?
Bars.
Where did that come from, man?
Not bars, man. You know what? Man, like I said, I guess I've surrounded myself with so many people, and I mean, in that particular moment, in that particular piece, it was just in me and felt right to do it. I don't in any way, form, or fashion consider myself a full out hip hop spoken word artist, nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? If it's in me to deliver it that way, then I'm gonna deliver it that way. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the moment calls for it. But yeah, I appreciate that because I know you the big hip hop head.
Man.
If I got your stamp of approval, then
no. I mean, that definitely gets it. And the thing is, the people I listen to, I don't listen to people like NBA Youngboy or the people. I'm kind of a hip hop elitist, but I listen to like the old school heads.
So you
like Rock, I just saw Rakim 2 weeks ago.
Okay, there you go.
I saw Rakim, KRS-One. Like I watched the KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, but even people like Chuck D and Public Enemy and X-Clan and people like that, like people who valued our ancestry and kind of our beginnings and tried to bring positivity. I mean, I listen to NWA too. I can't even front. I listen to Ice Cube and
how can you not?
Too Short and all that. I mean, I listen to all that stuff, but
say what you want, but them brothers had a measure of protest about them in some of their music. I mean, they had some stuff, but I mean, they wasn't all bad if you really listen to the context.
Right. And I mean, the thing is, this piece to me is reminiscent of even newer acts like Jay Electronica and Kendrick and J. Cole, like that same edutainment energy that KRS-One tried to put up. That was dope, man. I really enjoyed that. Talk to us a little bit about some of your musical influences. I mean, I know your education was kind of very diverse in your travels, but just when Lonnie is relaxing, when Lonnie's trying to focus, like what are some of the things he listens to? Who are some of the people that influence him and that motivate him and give him energy to do what he needs to do during his day?
Yeah, definitely, man. So it's kind of interesting. You might laugh at me right now that I've been in this tricky space trying to find artists who inspire me as of late. This is kind of, so right now it's kind of definitely just keeping on rotation my normal favorites, go-tos and stuff. So it's been very difficult these days because I don't know, music seems more like just sort of gimmicky these days.
It's a business. It's a business.
It's what will sell in the moment and not substance.
And indulge me for another two. I mean,
good man. Go at it, man.
The thing is,
go in.
Before, because everything is so, like, they used to develop artists. You could be, a young artist, and you might get 2 albums to actually kind of develop a sound. Like, I think of an artist, we're talking about rap, but like Mobb Deep.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar, but like their first album, they were teenagers. And it wasn't a great album. Then their second album, they got older and it was great. You know what I'm saying? But now they want you to have your audience already built up before they sign you. And instead of signing you to an album, they'll sign you to a single. So like an artist like Soulja Boy who has no recognizable talent. Pardon my language. I don't mean to be. But he can get signed to a single deal because you can make, before it was ringtones, now it's these memes and all that stuff, but like none of it requires talent or study or even really any focus. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like there's a song out now. I understand the assignment. Like that's the song. It's terrible. I'm sorry. I'm on my soapbox.
You're fine. I mean, I agree with a catchy dance and a catchy chorus or something, a hook or whatever with, by American standards, a socially acceptable face, and you got your stuff a hit. You know what I'm saying? No, we ain't got like long-term songs, from like the Gladys Knights and the Pips and the Patti LaBelle's and
right.
Temptations. Like you ain't getting, iconic songs like that where they could still get on stage and you know what I'm saying and get an audience. Because I don't know how Lil Nas X and them gonna make it in the next 20 years, bro. What they do.
They're not. I mean, that's the thing. They're not
twerking in 20 years. Like,
I mean, the thing is, and we're talking about Lil Nas X. I mean,
we getting off, man.
Right, but it's fine because it's us. I mean, this is what we do anyway. But
whatever, man.
I mean, the thing is, with Lil Nas X, does anyone ever really talk about his music?
No.
There's never any conversation about the substance of his music ever.
I'm talking with my college students, and I'm like, please, give me any bars, any lyrics that you can from the Nas X album. Tell me about all of from start to finish. What are his top songs? And all they can say is Old Time Road and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but he's had projects since then. And the only thing that we talk about now, that was his entry point. That's what it was. And he did that also, riding on the shoulders of a white man as well. But, in country music, that was an entry point. It was something that was a conversation piece. I said, but then we talking nothing about, are we talking about our pole dancings and getting naked on stage, kissing on stage,
which is
bloody
zero
shoes
talent. I mean, but none of
blood shoes. Hey, they got to drop a dragon blood. It's crazy stuff. Animal blood. Yeah.
And see, the thing is, it's not even about the genre, because in any genre, there are talented, good artists.
Yeah.
There are good, talented country artists. On this album, Rooted, how many songs are on that album?
So it's not a full album, right? It's an EP. So this is, yeah. So, it's 6 pieces up there. It's really 5 tracks that that fall into the particular, conversations I was having about music really of the African diaspora, that particular thing. And then there's a track that is actually a rearrangement of a song I did, or I should say just an arrangement of a song I did with my group Audacious Praise called I'm Somebody.
Wow.
So
now that's like the big hit. That's like Before I Let Go for Maze. Like everybody wants to hear that at any Audacious Praise, Fresh Faith Friday type of event. That's what everybody wants to hear.
That was definitely one of my jams at Fresh Faith, man. We got to get back to that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you mind sharing another piece? I don't want to put too many of your songs out. Do you have another one that you can share with us?
Yeah, man, I'm happy to share another one.
Man, look, we love it. We love it. We love it.
I'll do this one. This one is a shorter song, all right? And this is actually another spiritual. Yeah, I can do this one, I guess.
Cool.
Would you rather hear spiritual? I'm giving you a choice, Kev. We want to hear
spiritual. It's up to me. I'm with it. Let's go.
We could do a spiritual 2 wings. This is more like in the style of a field holler. You ever heard of field hollers before?
When they was out there picking the cotton and whatnot.
The name is really self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? Right. And a lot of these songs sometimes came out of isolation when you did find moments, these sort of rare moments where you were mining fields, by yourself, and you were just, in your solitude, and you're calling out, to the Lord, or calling out to whomever, you know what I'm saying? Making your concerns, making your petitions known. That's one of those songs you could hear the agony in it. So I have one like that in the song called Two Wings. That's a well-known spiritual, but I put that in the context of plantation field holler, or as they would call it sometimes, corn ditties. They call it our woolies, those kind of things. I have another one that's like a protest song that's more on the lines of civil rights movement, Black Lives Matter kind of hybrid, combined together. Same sentiments, period, just spaced apart in terms of decades, right? But it has definitely the same kind of feel to that. Then I got another one. It's definitely more of what do you call it? A hymn choir song. That's when I went down to the Carolinas and I started seeing. You know how in Chicago choirs you get to, I don't know if y'all did this at Bryn Mawr at any point, but it used to be this thing where all the choirs of the neighborhood or the area got together, and then one group get up one by one and they all singing the song, offering up, and it seemed.
Oh no, I don't think we ever did that at Bryn Mawr. That would be something that, unless. Well, I'll say this. I don't know if I ever saw that at Bryn Mawr. They may have done it before my time, but that might be
about this one though.
Go ahead.
Tell you, my impression with hymn choirs in the Carolinas is where really it was rooted from and comes out of these particular old praise houses and stuff, this particular tradition. And it still has that same feel of no instrumentation, just the hands and the stumping, stumping and clapping and stuff. That's still the very raw, just essential manifestation of drumming. You know what I'm saying? Of African drumming through the body. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
And that's their only source of accompaniment, and everybody comes in, they singing, they freestyling. Like you can be the lead singer, but anybody in the back can come and flow with you. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like. Hey,
so it's almost like improvisation, almost like jazz improvisation.
Exactly, and
like.
it's a very participatory kind of thing. If someone is feeling what you're saying, they can yell out and whatever. Yeah, say that. Come on now, all those things. And it has the hymn choirs. Some of the things with their songs, it can start off real slow, real mellow. They're trying to figure out what's going on because it's unrehearsed kind of music. And the thing, because it's real spirit flow, and as the spirit is moving, you can add verses, you can speed up the tempo as everybody's getting comfortable. The clapping was what we call polyrhythmic. Instead of just straight clapping, then you start to get the it gets real rhythmic after a while. But these things, but I was going to tell you this one little quick fact.
No, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. Like these choirs come from they have like sometimes fifth Sundays where they do these gatherings wherever hymn choirs are still practiced, mostly in North Carolina, South Carolina. And all these choirs after church come together for like the afternoon service, and they got on, this choir is from St. James since they got on the green and white robes, and this choir is from old St. Mary's or something. You know what I'm saying? They coming over, Beulah Baptist, whatever. They got that color on. And you think they about to get up and throw down like choirs do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even the case. Bruh, they stay sitting in the pews and they all become one big choir. And they're all singing the same songs together, praising the same way. The spirit, it is just set.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. Let's hear that one, man.
You want to go through that one?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, it's hard to do it justice, right? But I did my best to definitely give that particular style justice in this.
Brother, I know it's going to be great, and we all know it's going to be great.
Because, it's one of the things you got to see live to really.
Right.
I got you, man. I got you. Let me just kind of.
No doubt.
So this song is actually one I wrote myself as a homage to the hymn choir tradition called "Going Through." And sometimes we all go through it, but the words just reminds us joy comes in the morning. All right, so check it out. The songs are usually simple and accessible so that anybody, whatever your musical level was or literacy level was, everybody had a way to communicate, to participate, to be a part of the community. So here we go, Going Through.
I'm just going through. Going through. Oh Lord. I'm just going through. But I'll be alright. Joy is waiting on the other side. I'm just going through. I'm just going through. It's a little tough right now. But I will be alright.
Going through, man, going through. That's that piece.
Lonnie, you're a genius, man. You're a genius, man. I mean,
Far from it.
your work is outstanding, and I think anyone, certainly anyone from Bryn Mawr, but anyone who likes music, I don't think you even need to necessarily like gospel music. I think if you are just into good, authentic music from the soul, with a message, with a narrative, I think everyone would love it, man. Where can people go get rooted? How can you go get it?
You can go to my website, lonnienorwood.com/rooted, and it'll give you all kinds of background information on the album. You can purchase it there. It is $7 a pop. If you just want a particular single, you can get that as well instead of buying the whole project. But with the whole project, you get the liner notes. So all of the African American vernacular dialect that you're seeing, that you saw on the screen, all of that is within the liner notes and talks about all the credits and stuff like that. So I would really appreciate that level of support, and I know that you all would enjoy and just hearing, an Africana perspective in this kind of music come to the forefront. Yeah.
Well, I'm getting mine as soon as we get off. But I want everybody from Bryn Mawr, I definitely want you to go get rooted. And then outside of Bryn Mawr, I want y'all to go get rooted. So I want everyone to go get it. It's a very important piece from a good, talented young brother from our church. So I think we definitely need to support him. Mr. Norwood Jr., sir, thank you for sitting down with us this evening, man. This is great. And we should do it again.
I'm humbled, bro. Thank you for sharing space with me, man. I appreciate it.
This is your space, man. This is your space. You're Bryn Mawr. I'm Bryn Mawr. We are all Bryn Mawr, man. But this is great.
But bro, I give you a lot of credit. I want to go on record to give you credit for actually extending our reach through technological means. You know what I'm saying? I like that you're using 21st century means to get our message out, our mission out. Yeah.
Man, look, God is working through me. I don't have any talent as it relates to singing or anything like that. But I think it's important that, the things we are able to do, we do them, and we do them for the benefit of the church and for the glory of the Lord, man.
To the glory of the Lord. Absolutely.
So we love you, man. We appreciate you. Thank you for sitting down with us. Again, this is Kevin Smith. I'm the Technology Board Chairman at Bryn Mawr Community Church with the music of Lonnie Norwood Jr. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for watching.